My name is Kimberley Chauvin. I teach at the Science and Math Academy. I teach middle schoolers, 7th and 8th graders. This is my 8th year teaching. I taught 7th grade math my first year. My second year, I taught the 7th and 8th grade combination class. Taught that for a few years, and then I moved into Algebra 1. Hey. Hello. I like you both. Good afternoon. How was y'all day? Good. So we have a scenario up here, and once you read it, then just decide where you want to go. And the arrows kind of point to tell you where to go. You can move if you need to move so that you can see, of course. You choose the food court, you go here. Permanent restaurant, this side. All right, so when you decide, feel free to move. And remember, be able to justify your reasoning. So which do you think would earn more money, a food court or a permanent restaurant?
I think a food court, because if you can move it place to place. If you're not getting business in one place, you can go to another place and see if you get more business. And you have to pay for like lights and stuff like that.
Food carts, you don't have unlimited, well, you have more space and more food at a restaurant, so you don't have to worry about running out of food, and people know where it's at. In a food cart, you're always moving around, so you have to find it. For a restaurant, you know where it's at, so you can go directly to it.
For a food cart, if the people get tired of it in one spot, you could move to the next where they never heard of it before, so they could try it, and if they like it, you can make a bigger profit.
So when you're talking about cost per person, we agree that the restaurant would be
more expensive.
okay. All right, last one.
Think about during a busy time of the year, like at the day of the Super Bowl or some kind of important event. You don't really have time to walk into a restaurant, sit down, wait for your food to be served, because that's where everybody's going to want to go. At a food cart, you have more space to spread out, and you can kind of take the food with you along the way. So you can have the food cart about a mile down the road. You just walk there, get your food, eat on the way, and then wait outside the stand.
That's a great idea. I never thought about that. Maybe we should open up a fourth block food
just
court.
passing by, then cooking it and serving it to you.
Right.
But over there, everything's pretty much prepared.
So maybe they'll have some food court people here Saturday in New Orleans. You leaving? Y'all recruited one.
And for like how we said about the Super Bowl, you could easily take the cart inside besides permanent, because you could just have a bag and put all the stuff in the bag and walk around and sell it in the game.
Okay. So there are definitely pros and cons to both. Do we agree? Okay, so there are some times where it's just going to depend. Y'all gave great reasons, some reasons that I never even thought of why a food court would be better, and y'all had great reasons as well as why a permanent restaurant would be better. And that's what we're going to do today in class. You're going to be given some real world scenarios just like this one, and you're going to have to make a decision. Like, which one do you think would be better and why? Okay? All right. So I'm going to put you into groups. All right. If you are groups 1 and 3, you are going to be doing saving on cruising, which is problem 1. And if you're groups 2 and 4, you're going to be doing we offer free calls and super low prices on tax. So I'm going to read the problem scenario to you. And then I'll let you get started. So problem 1, saving on cruising. The Bici Bicycle Company is planning to make a low-price, ultralight bicycle. There are 2 different plans being considered for building this bicycle. The materials and labor costs for each bike made under the first plan will be $225. The second plan includes a cost of $100,000 to design and build the prototype. The materials and labor costs for each bike made under the second plan will be $275. You recently got a job at Bicey Bicycle Company as a financial analyst. You have been asked to analyze the cost for each proposed bicycle prototype and determine which plan Bicey should follow. Use any method to determine your response. All right? What do you think your recommendation is going to depend upon before you even start working this problem out?
Find which plan would have probably a better profit or income, because you're losing about $100,000 each designing it, and plus the $275, $225 for the labor and material cost.
Okay.
So you need something that has a good expense to get most of that money back. So
All right.
You're not losing as much.
We agree? Disagree? Agree? Okay. We offer free calls and super low prices on text. Demetrius is in search of a new cell phone plan. He's considering 2 different cell phone services from 2 different providers. Bouncing Cell Service offers a monthly fee of $99.99 and 200 free text messages per month. Once a user exceeds the free monthly number of text messages, each subsequent text message is 5 cents per text. Rolling Cell Service offers a monthly fee of $79.99, and you get 150 free text messages per month. But once you exceed those text messages, it costs 8 cents per text. Kind of high. Think about when you're texting someone. You were just texting one person about how many, when you go back and forth, right? If you have to pay for each one, somebody's mom is not going to be happy. Demetrius is unsure which plan to choose. He wasn't very careful with his last contract and paid a lot of extra money for those charges. Write an email to advise Demetrius which plan to use. Use any method to determine your response. So what will your recommendation depend upon?
The cost per text message is extra.
The cost for text messages extra, okay. Anybody else? The number of free texts you get. Ultimately, if you are the one paying this bill, which one are you going to want?
Cheaper one.
The one that's going to be cheaper for you, correct? All right. So what you are going to do right now is you are going to set up some problems and solve them. And I'm going to walk around and kind of guide you through it. And once you are done with everything on your paper, then you can transfer it to your poster board. I have posters back here and markers where you can transfer it on there, and then you can come present it to the other 2 groups. Okay? Okay, so let's make up a hypothetical situation. How many texts you made this month? 500. How many do you get free on that first one? Okay, so how would you figure out how much you have to pay for? Right, is that what y'all wrote? You wrote 200 minus the text. Yeah, yes. Does that make sense? Okay. Pretty number. 300. Okay, so you make 300 texts this month. You don't pay for 200 of those 3, right? So how many do you have left? And what would you do next? Why?
Because that 100 is not technically you made, and that is 0.05 is how much you have to pay per.
Right. So that's why this has to be in parentheses. Because you have to remember order of operations, so you have to do what first?
What's in description?
Right. So you have to do that before you multiply. Very good. That's doing good. Are y'all okay without me right now? Mm-hmm. All right. Both. So, okay, you have the graph. Okay, so once y'all all get the graph, this ordered pair that you have, this 500 is that intersection point. So think about what that intersection point means in terms of this saving and cruising situation.
It was negative 12.
Talk about it. I'm gonna come back and chat. I want y'all to decide together and agree on it, and I'm gonna come back and chat with you, okay? All right, so what are y'all doing to solve this? Y'all doing substitution, elimination?
Elimination.
Okay. Very good.
Can we combine the 99.99 minus 10? We can
Are
just
they like
combine
terms?
Yeah.
Then you can.
So it'd be 89.
And y'all need me right now? Are y'all okay? Count. You okay? So you have A and B. Okay, so tell me what is your X and what is your Y? You already told me. I just want you to write it down.
X is the number
Of bikes, right? Your total cost. Good. So the ordered pair that you solved for, you got 500 comma 237,500. That is correct. But what does that mean?
That means where they're gonna be even. That's where 2 points they intersect.
When they're costing the exact same.
Yeah, the exact same point.
Right. So it wouldn't matter which one you would go with. Right there. Okay, so what you need to decide is if it's below or above, which one would you choose? If it was below, what would you choose? Which plan?
Maybe G. G. Oh yeah.
Because why?
Because B is lower than A.
You know what I would do? Like, okay, baby, use your ruler and like just make up some amount that's below and above. And if that's your total cost, to figure it out. But you are right. But just so that you could see it. Like, you know what I mean? So that you can see, like if you picked a point here, this would be the same number of bikes, right? Which line would cost more? Which line would cost less? So that's it might help you to see it that way. Why?
Because it costs less after 500 per plane A, but it costs less before 500 per plane B.
Good. So when you're at 500 bicycles, 500 is your what? Which is your
When they both cost the same.
when they both cost the same. So at 500, does it matter which plan you choose? No, it's where you break even. So it's gonna depend, like when you make this decision, what?
How many bikes you have?
Right. And y'all just told me if it was, you would choose plan A of what?
If it's more than 500 and
Good.
plane B is less.
That's it. You solved it. Geniuses. All right, go get the board and the marker. And you just transfer this to there, and then you're going to present it with the other group in a little while. Okay. So say substitution, right? Why did y'all choose substitution?
Because it would be a lot harder to eliminate. If we
Because
had
what?
smaller numbers,
The numbers are so large, it'd be hard to find the number that would
Okay. Good.
And they all were in slogans except for, so it was easy to grasp.
Good. But we have this problem scenario. So you need to think about what is that 733.33? What does that mean?
That's how many total he does, but you can't have half a text.
Very good. That's the number of text messages, right? Right? Can you have 0.33 of a text? So if you round it down to 733,
You're cutting yourself off.
you're cutting off that portion of the text message. So you would end up having to go what? Up to 734. Very good. That's all you have to do. Did you get it, Carly?
Yeah, I have.
Is it still saved?
That's the same I had.
Because the reason it needs to be clearer is because you need to know which line is which when you're sketching it out. Like you need to know which one is bouncing cell service and which one is rolling cell service. And so the order that it graphs it, matches the first one you put in, that's the first one that's gonna graph. You know why? Because y'all rounded to 734 at that point. That's why y'all ended up with different amounts of cents.
Oh, so we need to do the 70.
The 733, right? Like whenever you're rounding, only round at the very, very end. Because like if you round first, then you round second, then you round third, then like your answer slowly and but surely becoming like way off. You see what I'm saying? Like, so if you round at the very end, it's like you're only rounding your, one answer. Whereas if you would keep rounding before, it's not as accurate. Okay. All right. You ready? My two, save it on cruising. Let's see what you have. I want y'all to pay attention if you get the text message one. All right. Beautiful posters, by the way. So saving on cruising, both came up with y equals 225x plus 125,000, or written vice versa, but it means the same thing. Okay, explain to me how y'all got y'all equation.
We use the plan cost, because you only need one plan, and we put the variable behind the material and labor cost, because you may need to make several model bicycles instead of just one as a prototype.
Okay. So y'all agree, or want to add anything onto that?
That the 125,000 and 100,000 is pretty much like the initial cost, and the variables with X, that's the cost of the bikes, and X is how many bikes you're making.
Good. And they both have that. You see how they said X represents the number of bikes? Point to that on your X-axis. On your graph. X-axis graph. Good. Good. Bikes made. And your Y represents what?
The cost of the bike.
The total cost.
The cost to build.
How many bikes you
Total
want?
cost to build.
Very good. Are we okay with that? All right. So what did you do to solve?
You did substitution.
Substitution, and y'all did.
We did we did substitution.
Yeah, both did substitution. Okay, why did you choose substitution?
Because the numbers are so large, it would come out to be an even larger number just to get the two numbers lined up.
Like if you did elimination?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
And you could keep on continuing multiplying and multiplying and multiplying. You can have all this work, whereas you just simply plug it in and you put down.
Okay. Go.
Because the y is already on the other side of the equal sign. Like the y is by itself already.
Good.
So it's easier.
Good. So because y equaled 1 and y equaled the other, it ultimately meant both equations equaled out. Good. Okay, so y'all both solved it, and you got 500, 237,500. Good. What do those numbers mean? So that was the point of graphing it. So kind of see it visually.
Were they the same?
It's the intersection point for both standpoints. They both equal the same amount.
Very good. So tell me, in a sentence, what that means.
Whenever plan A and plan B, whenever you sell 500 bikes, it'll cost 237,500 for each plan.
Very good. So if you make 500 bikes, does it matter which plan they choose? No, it doesn't, because
But they're both the same price.
that's where they cross. That's where they meet the same price. So tell me what your conclusion is. So the question technically said you are the financial analyst, and you want to analyze the cost for each of these proposals, Plan A and Plan B, and it wants you to determine which plan that bicycle company should follow. So what would your recommendation be? Jaden?
If you're making less than 500 bikes, then it would be plan B because it costs less. If you're making more than 500, then it would be plan A because it costs less. And if you're making exactly 500, it doesn't matter.
Good. Y'all agree with that? That was said perfectly. So is that kind of the same thing like we did in the beginning, like when we were talking about the food court restaurant? Wouldn't it maybe depend on some factors? Good. Y'all did an excellent job. Do y'all have any questions for them? Y'all did good. Y'all could sit. Okay. What did we do? Y'all did substitution. So y'all had y equals 99.99 plus 0.05 times x minus 200. Y'all had the same thing. So can you explain what those numbers mean? One of y'all?
The X is the number of texts, and the Y is the total cost of everything after.
So like what you pay a month? Good. So explain why y'all wrote that equation the same way.
Because, well, we did elimination, but still, it would have been the same.
But just to like write the initial equation, that 99.99 plus 0.05 times x minus 200, like explain to them how, like why you wrote that. Because y'all also, I mean, y'all had parentheses and stuff in y'all.
The X is the number of texts, so you have to subtract that by the 200.
Because you get
200 free.
good. And after you did that,
You have to distribute.
You multiply it by 0.05 because that's how much it costs per text.
right. So you would distribute it, but meaning you would multiply it by the 0.05 or 5 cents, because that's how much you pay per text. And then after, what does that 99.99 come in?
That's
Your monthly.
That's your monthly fee. Very good. And y'all did the same thing for both. And y'all did substitution and got 733.33. And then you told me it was approximately 734. And y'all ended up getting the same thing. Why? Explain to them why you couldn't keep it at 733.33.
Since
You couldn't have a part
you couldn't have a part of the text, so you have to
round it up because you already used some of this.
Right, that 733 represented text messages. And you can't sell a portion, or you can't send a portion of a text. So you couldn't round it down, because if you did, you would be getting rid of part of it. So you'd have to round it up. Does that make sense to my audience? Okay. And then y'all substituted that for your Y, and you got $126.65. So when y'all graphed it, and y'all both got a chance to graph it, your intersection point, tell me about it.
That's how much, 126.65. That's how much it will cost when both plans cost the same.
So if you made 734 texts, no matter which plan you chose,
You still have to pay
You still have to pay
126.
you'd still have to pay $126.65. So at that point, would it matter? Okay, so you need to decide, am I somebody who doesn't text a lot, or am I somebody who texts a lot more than that? And then that would depend on which plan you would choose. So what scenario would be better for which one?
If you don't text, if you text less than 734, you go with the rule. If you text more than 734 texts, you go with the unseen.
Good. Y'all agreed with that, because we had kind of talked about it. Did y'all want to add anything else? Y'all did awesome. Good job. I'm very proud of y'all. I want y'all massive. Okay, so what we're going to do to practice this a little bit is we're going to do the scavenger hunt. Okay, so let me explain to you how this works, because there are several different kinds of, there are 2 different kinds of questions that I'm going to have on here. You ready? Okay, when you open the card, it's your question. So you're going to have a question, you're going to get the answer, and then you're going to walk around the classroom and look on the outside to see what your answer is. Okay? Whenever you find that answer, the first answer you get, everybody's going to put it in this first block. Now, everybody is going to have a different one, but that's okay, because at the end, y'all should all have the same scheme. Then once you find that answer, so let's say I solved it, and this was my answer. Then I'm going to read this question, solve it, and let's say that's my answer. So I'm going to put that answer in this block. And you just keep going around your paper, where I have a system of equations, and you're going to take this system and you're going to solve it, using any method that you feel comfortable based on things that we've discussed this week. And once you get your answer, you're going to find that ordered pair around the classroom. Okay? And then I have other questions that look like this, where if you open it up, it's a problem scenario. Now you're not solving this problem, you're just setting it up. So you're going to set up a system of equations, just like you just did. And then you're going to find your answer around the room.
We could do that up to
No, we still have to do it now. What was I do before?
plus minus. No, you have to do
Fraction. So it should be.
doesn't matter.
Do you not see why?
I would have done
Negative 7x plus 7x gives you 0. 7y minus 7y gives you 0. 0 plus 0 is 0. 12 minus 12 is 0.
Do we have to write
So
that?
is 0 0?
That's fine. See, it's right.
Okay. I remember y'all are going back. Oh, this was the. Gotcha.
Can't we substitute?
Yeah.
You just need to make sure your X's and your Y's line up. So first move them. You can solve these systems of equations using what?
Substitution.
Good. Substitution, elimination, and graphing. But we always want to choose like the way that I guess it's easiest to get an answer, right? Okay, so give me quickly. When would we do substitution?
Whenever you have either
Oh,
X
intercept.
or
Very
Y
equals something.
Abby, 1 second.
Whenever it's like Y equals something or X equals something.
Very good. And y'all all told me that, right? So when you have these two equations and one is in standard form but the other one's already solved for X and a Y, or X or a Y, then you would use substitution. Pretty simple. Would you, if you had fractions, would you do substitution? What would be a better way?
Elimination.
Because you could eliminate
The fraction.
the fraction. Good. When you use an elimination, just remember, make sure your X values, Y values, and numbers are all lined up to eliminate. And when's graphing good to use?
When both of them are slope intercept form.
So they need to be in slope-intercept form, which is
Y equals mx plus
Y
fraction.
y equals mx plus b and what?
They have fractions.
But what can't have the fraction?
Y.
The y-intercept. The slope can have the fraction because that's just rise over run. But you can't have it as your y-intercept because then you'd be, right. So like if you had y equals 1/2 x minus 2, you know negative 2 is here. And you go up 1, right 2, up 1, right 2. But if you had 2.3, negative 2.3, you're kind of estimating where that is, and that wouldn't give you an accurate answer. So we all okay with that? No questions on that part? Okay, I'm sorry. You can continue. Have a great day.
No, I just put that one in the podium.
Bless.